Hi, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your New Year's festivities and you're all recovered if you had a big party on the 31st. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about selectivity as we're starting all these resolutions. So, yesterday, I think I kind of had this insight, which is that when I get really clear on my ideal partner and I let go of this need to control, it might be really easy to connect with the right person. And yeah, so anyway, today I had an experience where I was going to go out on a date with a guy and he wrote me a message. I was feeling a little weird about this guy. So basically, he said to me, he connected with me on Instagram, and yesterday he said, where do you want to meet up? And I said, how about we meet at the Old Town around 2 p.m.? And then today he wrote to me and said, well, actually, do you think we could meet at this mall, Yoker, because it was hard for me to park last time? And I've never met this guy before. So I assumed that he was talking about some other woman that he had met. And this is something that often happens when you're trying to be open and good about dating, is that you start making accommodations for people. Well, of course, it's weird texting. I'm meeting other people too. So natural slip up that he would do that. But then there was something else, which is that his dating profile, there was something really weird about it for me. Like, he had all of these pictures, none of them really with a friend, except one with this woman who looked really hot. And he said it was a neuroscientist he was working on a project with. And then all of the likes just seemed to be from international women who were liking his pictures. And just, I don't know, I sent the pictures to my friend and she said, okay, it's definitely touched up. If I didn't know that there were pictures of actual split, I would have thought he was AI generated or something. So that was something that was a bit weird. So I also accommodated for that. I said, oh, men might not know how to make a great Instagram profile or whatever. That's fine. Still, he could be a great person. And so then the next thing he did is he said, so all we have to figure out is what time to meet up. And I had just told him 2 messages earlier that we could meet at 2. And by this time it was at 11 a.m. And as you all know, it takes me 2 hours to prepare. And one of my best friends was coming over, and I really honestly wanted to spend time with her. So I do want to keep prioritizing what I love. And so anyway, so I said, how about 4? And he wrote back, I was thinking 2. And at that point, I'm thinking, like, why did you even bother? First of all, why did you ask again? Why did you bother asking? Oh, well, maybe it's a language barrier. And I just realized at this point, I had no desire to go out with him again. And it was this situation where I was accommodating. And this process of accommodating and online dating can get really draining. And then I thought about the last guy that I dated and how I felt so exhausted after our first date and I didn't want to go out with him again. And I pushed myself. And then we had that uncomfortable experience where he drank a lot. So I thought maybe this time I'm going to honor my own intuition and simply, my friend said, well, maybe you could have a call with him. But I really checked it and I said, is this something my ideal partner would do? Is this even something any of my friends would do? To just message, just kind of the poor communication. And then, so I do what many women did, was I said, instead of trusting my best friend, I'm going to go to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, of course, always validates everything you want to say. But I sent him the whole text chain, and ChatGPT says, you're not overthinking, you're noticing multiple small integrity and attunement mismatches, and your nervous system is correctly flagging them. Here's a clear breakdown of what's actually happening. Inconsistent identity. He says AI researcher. Oh, I also saw on LinkedIn that it said he was a yacht captain, which was a little bit odd. Over-curated performative Instagram, heavily touched up photos, looks mostly women he met online. Validation seeking. 3, low attunement in logistics. This part is subtle but important. You suggested 2, then suggested Old Town, then suggested 4. He re-asked things you already answered. Countered was, I was thinking 2 after you moved the plan forward. He's not really tracking you. He's operating on autopilot or expects you to adjust back to his preference. You're already feeling slightly irritated and disenchanted even before the date happens. That's your answer. A date should feel light, easy, clean, slightly anticipatory, not ugh already. So I opted out. I said, I used what he suggested, which was, hey, I'm going to pass on meeting today. After all, wishing you a nice rest of the week. And the point that I want to kind of drum home here, I mean, I don't feel like I'm in any place to give advice about dating since I haven't met my person. But the point I wanted to drum home is that I'm trying to bring a principle that actually I learned from Bank Street College of Education, which is unconditional positive regard. That means none of my messages to this guy are critical, like you did something wrong. I'm just accepting him as he is. And also, I'm giving unconditional positive regard to myself. What I'm feeling in my body is okay. All of the research I've done on dating and analysis and therapy are enough for me to make an intuitive decision about if this is right for me. I am more than ever aware of how much I love life and want to savor every single moment. And as I told my friend today, hey, this is an hour of my time that I could spend meeting someone else online or doing some other project or spending time with my friend who I adore and while she's visiting. So yeah, so I decided to pass. And then weirdly, right after the other guy that I dated before who said, can we be friends? Which I thought was, he had texted me on New Year's and he texted me again today saying, hey, how are you? And I just felt in my 20s, this would have really confused me. Like, why did you say you wanted to be friends and then start texting me? But now I understand he's confused about what he wants. I am not confused about what he wants. I mean, maybe he feels guilty. Maybe he's still attracted to me, wants to reignite things. Maybe he just wants to have me around without the pressure of dating, a million different reasons. But I don't want that. I don't want him in my space anymore. And so, without criticizing him at all, nothing I said in my text was, you are bad. This is not okay. What do you want? Nothing. Just talked about me and what I need, which is, hey, this is thoughtful of you. I didn't even say this is nice. I don't know that it's nice of him. I said, this is thoughtful of you. I need space right now because maybe I will want to connect with him in the future. And he said, I understand. So it all worked out well. So I just feel like this unconditional positive regard thing it's as much for me as it is for these men. It's not like I'm some incredibly selfless person. I can be selfish, but I just feel better when I treat people with respect and I treat myself with respect. And you have to do both. You can't just treat them with respect and not yourself. But I bring equanimity. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know them, or I don't know this guy very well. I trust all of the introspection I've done. I trust my resources, like my friends. I don't ask everybody. And I give unconditional positive regard to everyone in this situation and acknowledge maybe this was a mistake. But if I really think about it, I don't think that this guy is my ideal partner and I don't want to waste time. And so that's what I did. So my message to you today is be selective about who you meet. Really think hard about who your ideal partner is. Of course, be open to surprises, but don't settle, try not to be too focused on superficial things like height or even weight or what their eye color looks like, but you want to be attracted to them. What do you want to exist between you? How would your ideal partner behave? And you can ask yourself those questions instead of wondering about what people are thinking. You're never going to know what someone is thinking or what their logic is. People don't have perfect logic. I don't have perfect logic. I mean, this guy would probably be shocked to see how his texts impacted me. No one has perfect logic. So all the information you really have is how your body is responding to this situation and if this is going to be something good for you and your life. Not, some perfect analysis of their brain is not going to support you. So I just kind of like to see, okay, is this my ideal partner speaking, yes or no? And then move on from there. All right, so I wanted to share something with you is that I've been reaching out to a lot of matchmakers, as I've said, and I found a couple interesting resources. So this is something I just signed up for. It's called Level Connections. It's a matchmaker in Los Angeles, but they have connections all around the world. And as a woman, you can join the registry for free. It's really interesting. They asked me a ton of interesting questions about myself And I enjoyed answering it. And then they have a video portion at the end. And it's app.levelconnections.com. Free for women. Gentlemen have to pay. Fair enough. Okay. And so that one is that. So the next one is actually this really lovely woman, Mina Yang. She does hypnotherapy, which I did before I met my last partner, and really my only long-term partner. And she's starting this community for women, and you can just do the first month free trial in January. I joined the community, so you can join me in that. She's going to be on the show in, I think, 2 days. Just seems like a really incredible person. I think I'm probably going to do some hypnotherapy with her as well. All right. That's a wrap for today, except I must show you again my gorgeous red high heels. Let's do a little high heel dance. If you haven't danced and shaken out your body today, we can do it together. I have to just orient this camera towards my heels. I think if I stand near here. Now you can see my beautiful high heels. Put my Happy New Year back on. Beautiful room decorated by my friends. By the way, I've been getting a lot of love from the universe lately. This woman from high school I haven't spoken to in years just said she wanted to reach out to tell me what a magnificent woman I've become. My assistant wrote me a beautiful note. My bestie is here working in another room waiting for me to finish my podcast so she can listen. And all of you, sending you love. Happy New Year!